everyone, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking spoilers, so I do just kind of want to say, if you haven't finished the DLC for A Rift in Time and you don't want to be spoiled, please click off this video. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone. I know some people like to go in blind and stuff like that. So this is your warning now. If you have not played the DLC, if you don't want to be spoiled about it or what's to come in the future, then please click off the video now. Because I'd hate for you to have anything spoiled. So yeah. Hopefully anyone who doesn't want it spoiled has already gone. But for those of you that don't mind spoilers or have seen the teaser, let's get straight into it. I'm going to cut in the clip here. And oh my god, what a what a clip. Okay, so this appears to be our teaser for the next DLC, the next act, whatever you want to call it. It's very, very exciting. I was wrong. I have to admit I was wrong. I genuinely thought Maleficent was going to be a base game storyline big bad, and I didn't think she'd be coming anytime soon, and it looks like I was wrong. I was very, very wrong, and I literally can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. I love Maleficent. Maleficent's one of my favourite villains. Hades is definitely up there in the top villains as well. We are getting two big punching villains, and honestly, I feel the next DLC is going to be very, very iconic. I'm so excited for it. I'm just surprised, I think. Let's talk about what we see in the clip, though. During the clip, we see the book that was teased on the showcase stuff. We see that, and the pages move and everything kind of lights up. Now, one thing that was pointed out to me was actually how some of the pages are blank. Like, not all the pages, there's just like one blank page. So we had a discussion last night on stream about whether this was going to tie into like a storybook element, like as in maybe we can rewrite the story, change the future or change the past or something like that, which I think would be very, very cool. I was saying in regards to this book, I don't think it's going to be a new tool like we have our hourglass. I think it might function a bit more like a time bending table, a crafting table, a cooking station, in that we go up to it and we interact with it, like we can craft it or build it and place it down or something like that. I was thinking visually, I couldn't see us walking around with this entire stand. Now, someone did very cleverly point out that perhaps we could hold just the book. Like, instead of the whole stand, we pick up the book and the book is our tool. Now, that's a really cool theory that I like. I certainly think that could be more possible than the idea of carrying around this big table. I just can't see our character running around with it, if that makes sense. But I do think that probably Senpai was onto the right track when he was talking about it being referenced to a tool. Like I said, I don't think it's like a tool like the hourglass that we're going to run around with, but I think it could definitely be something that's key to the storyline that we need to interact with. Like I said, a bit like the time bending stations, I wonder if this will be like almost like an equivalent or something like that. That's kind of my thoughts there for that. Now, the next thing we obviously want to talk about is Hades and Maleficent. Now, they appear to be on a tapestry, but the tapestry is ripped in half. Now, when I saw this, my instant thoughts were, okay, these are two villains that have had a disagreement. They're at a war kind of thing with each other. You know, they're sort of at a what would you call it? Like they're not on good terms. Let's just say that. There's a rift. There's a divide between them. And I was thinking how the next DLC could possibly work a bit like the Rift in Time, in that we have almost like two biomes, two sections. So you know how we currently have the Wild Tangle and the Glittering Dunes? I'm thinking we're going to have an area that Maleficent rules over and an area that Hades rules over. And I think the area that Hades rules over is going to be very Mount Olympus inspired or Greek inspired. Just based on the backdrop for him and obviously his character, that kind of makes sense. And then for Maleficent, I'm thinking, you know, we see this very woodsy kind of backdrop. I'm thinking fairy tale woods kind of vibe, which would make sense for her fairy tale storyline, and obviously her association with thorns and bushes, like obviously that kind of dense foliage, foresty kind of vibe, I think would work really, really well with her. So I'm thinking that's going to be kind of like the aesthetic of those two biomes, and perhaps we'll have a bit like Ancient's Landing, where there's like a center point that we land in. Maybe a bit more generically themed, where we probably meet the other characters that will come with this DLC. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. Or at least maybe perhaps a village. A fairy tale, quaint little village like Belle lives in, or something like that. You know, that kind of vibe. For the third biome, perhaps, I don't know, but it will be intriguing to see. But that's my thoughts, just based on how different the backgrounds are between these two characters. I think it's interesting that on the backdrop of Maleficent's image, we have like these big red things. I can't work out. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, is that like a whale tail? Like, what is that? And then like part of me is like, okay, maybe it's a giant mushroom or something. There's definitely some purple thing, and it's maybe like a large flower or something. I don't know. I genuinely cannot work out what it is. But then there's also like purple sparkly leaves or something. Well, not sparkly, but purple leaves or like glowing bits on the picture. And again, I can't fully work out what that is. But it's interesting. It really is interesting. I wonder if it is some kind of clue to the foliage or something like that of the game. If you have any ideas about these giant whale tails or mushrooms, because I don't know what they are, then let me know your theories in the comments down below. I literally cannot work it out. I'm gonna go back through a few Disney films, just skim through them just to see if I can see something that kind of makes me go, oh yeah, that looks like that, or it looks similar to this kind of thing. But I'll do that a bit later on today. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking we're getting like a fairy tale woodland inspired build and like a Greek Mount Olympus vibe, which very well may be a bit more beachy themed kind of thing. Not like beach, but like sandy, if that makes sense. Does that make any sort of sense? Like, because obviously, like, when you think of the Greek islands, and, like, obviously they're islands, so they're very coastal areas. So I'm kind of thinking, like, along that track for Hades area. And I think when it comes to the DLC, the main storyline is going to be kind of, like, reuniting these two worlds and reuniting these two villains and hoping that they can connect, make amends, and like not be at odds with each other, not be at war with each other, because I think that's what's going to be kind of like the storyline for this DLC, is that the rift isn't going to be a rift in time, but a rift between the villains kind of thing. I do think these are the only two villains that we are getting with this DLC update. I do not think we're going to get any more. I think the other characters we are going to get are going to be good guys, effectively. I think they're all going to be from different universes again. I don't think they're going to do, like, differently to how they did in the current DLC. So I think any characters we get will probably be all from different universes. I am intrigued to see what characters they could bring, because I genuinely don't know. Now, looking at the screenshot for the teaser, this does, like, there's a wooden structure that the tapestry is in. There's these giant wooden pillars, and then there's like these wooden branches and like red foliage bushes, which for some reason is just giving like local town kind of vibes, fairy tale village kind of vibes. It's very rustic. It's almost very cottagecore in a sense. So it does have that kind of vibe. So I'm trying to think if there's any characters that would align with that we don't already have in game. Now, I noticed someone pointed out in the stream, I'm forgetting everyone who said the stuff, so I do apologise. Someone mentioned about Merida from Brave, because obviously she has the red hair. I mean, she's set in the Scottish Highlands, so I am going to have a look at Merida's film. I'm going to have a look at Brave and see if there's any ties with that, because I would love her in the game, actually. I think she'd be a great addition. I am very curious. I don't know if there's many clues as to the other characters we're going to get, but I think this is definitely confirmation of the two villains that we are going to get, and about the general storyline, which is to fix the rift between these villains and hopefully reunite this land that they live in, and have everything make amends and stuff like that. That's my thoughts. Like I said, I don't think the book is necessarily a tool like we have the hourglass tool skins, but I do think it's going to function, like I said, maybe like a bit like a crafting table, in that there's interactivity. We have to interact with it, and somehow maybe it changes the fairy tale storyline, or we can change things. Maybe we go into like past events, like it takes us back in time, so we could see what went wrong and see how we can fix it. I don't know, maybe things like that. But yeah, I think I think this is mainly what I wanted to discuss with the theories. I discussed a lot on my stream last night. Also, sorry, I'm feeling really bunged up now. I can feel my voice is going. But yeah, I'm really excited. This is way better than I could have ever expected. I honestly commend Gameloft for pulling out all the stops, because I think this is going to be an excellent DLC. I think they'll have learned a lot from the Rift in Time DLC. I think they'll have got a lot of feedback. So I think whatever DLC we get next is going to be a big improvement on what we already have. And I think the DLC we've had already has been good. I think it's been pretty solid. There are things that I think could have been done better with a DLC. But I think overall they did pretty good. And certainly the end part of the DLC storyline was really, really good. I had so much fun with that last night. It was so good. Honestly, I'm 100% playing the DLC on my alt account save, because I want to go through that again, because that was just incredible. It was so much fun. But I am very, very excited for this next DLC. Like I said, I'm gonna go through some films. I'll be watching some movies today, skimming through them, seeing if any of this kind of feels familiar. I'm not sure if there will be anything, but this like kind of cottagecore vibe, the foliage, just something about it is really sticking out to me. The stonework and stuff like that. This has to be a location. I'm wondering if it's a location that is a part of the DLC itself. Like I said, maybe a bit like Ancient's Landing, like this is the base area that we land into when we go into the DLC, and then we have the two dividing rifts or worlds or whatever one with Maleficent and one with Hades, but I think it's going to be an epic showdown, that's for sure. If you have any theories or ideas, do leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and discuss it, or feel free to join my Discord and we can talk about it, because I am obsessed, like literally obsessed. It's so good. It is so good. I just think this is one of the best reveals they could have done. This was better than anything I was predicting. So honestly, round of applause to Game Loft, because this is I already know this is going to be fantastic. I'm so excited for it. But yeah, as I said, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like the video if you like what we've discussed and want to help out and support my channel. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, thank you for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys!